Welcome to the deep dive, where we're pulling back the curtain on a fundamental shift that's happening in the managed service provider channel right now.
It really is a huge shift.
Yeah, and if you feel like your business model is maybe hitting a ceiling, this is definitely the deep dive for you. We're not talking about the tedious incremental growth, adding one client at a time.
Right.
This is about what we call smart leverage. We're going to be dissecting the secret architecture that's allowing these top-tier MSPs to scale their service delivery exponentially.
And without the immense internal cost of building out like a massive R&D team.
Exactly.
And, it gets right to the core dilemma that has created this palpable anxiety across the entire industry. MSPs know their clients want AI. They are actively asking for predictive support. They need intelligent ticket management.
And the data backs this up, right?
Oh, completely. The data is overwhelming. We're talking 71% of organizations are actively exploring AI-driven IT service management solutions.
71%.
The problem is MSPs look at that need and they fear the monumental internal effort it would take to build these sophisticated solutions themselves.
And inaction is just not an option anymore.
No, our sources are clear on that. Inaction isn't just poor planning, it's a strategic disadvantage. You are actively surrendering market share to competitors who are already using automation to redefine service delivery.
Okay, so let's unpack that fear, that financial and talent-based fear. Let's define what we're calling the resource trap.
Good idea.
Right now, most MSPs are, correctly focused on optimizing the pain points of their legacy service desks. They get that Tier 1 support is repetitive, it's high volume, and it's extraordinarily hard to scale with people.
Right, the headcount game.
It is. But the foundational mistake they are making is trying to build the intelligence engine themselves. And, we have to stop and ask a pretty provocative question here.
Okay.
Does a high-end luxury grocery store dedicate its resources to running its own farming operation? Growing its own vegetables just so it can sell fresh produce?
No, of course not. They partner with the best suppliers. They're distributors.
Exactly. So why are you, an MSP, trying to code your own advanced agentic AI systems complete with all the complex orchestration and governance layers instead of just sourcing the finished, proven product?
That analogy, it perfectly frames the necessary shift in business identity.
So today we're going to dive deep into the technical complexity of true agentic AI. We'll clarify why it's, frankly, impossible for an individual MSP to build efficiently.
And then we can get into the strategic necessity of the white label model.
Yes. And finally, we will reveal the crucial factory in the background, that strategic partner that handles the entire production cycle, allowing you to focus purely on the client relationship, on maximizing profit, and, accelerating your valuation.
Let's do it.
Okay, so let's start by clarifying exactly what we'd be outsourcing here. To really get the resource trap, we have to move beyond simple automation and understand the technical leap required for agentic AI.
That's so critical because a lot of people just conflate agentic AI with the conversational large language models, the LLMs that everyone's playing with now.
Right, they think it's just a better chatbot.
Exactly. But an LLM is a tool for understanding and fluency. Agentic AI is an autonomous system. It takes initiative, it pursues defined goals, and it makes decisions based on really complex contexts.
So what's the concrete difference there? The thing that actually impacts an MSP's day-to-day operations?
I'd say the difference is agency and persistence. LLMs are fluent. They help machines understand language, right? They can summarize documents, perform some basic reasoning inside a single conversation.
But then they forget everything.
They forget everything. They lack continuity, persistent memory, and the execution capacity for complex, multi-step, real-world actions.
Okay, give me an example.
Think of it this way. A server error happens. An LLM might summarize the error log and, suggest a few possible fixes. That's understanding.
Right.
An agentic AI, on the other hand, will diagnose that error log, check configuration files across multiple databases, execute a rollback command via SSH, notify the right user that it's been resolved, and then document the entire event in the CRM.
That's the solve and act piece.
That is a solve and act piece.
And that solve and act capability is where the DIY costs just? It instantly becomes unaffordable? Isn't there a middle ground? Can't I just bolt an execution layer onto the LLMs I already license?
You can, but that attempt is the trap itself. To get that act piece, you have to develop a really sophisticated orchestration engine. Think of it like the conductor of an AI orchestra.
Oh,
This engine has to bridge APIs, databases, CRMs, workflows, and do it all securely. It manages the agent's memory, coordinates multi-agent systems, and handles all that complexity and governance.
And that kind of R&D effort requires specialized, very high-cost AI engineers that most MSPs just can't afford to hire.
Or retain.
Or retain, right. And it doesn't stop once it's built, does it? The sources mention the challenge of model maintenance.
Exactly. This is the hidden sort of long-term cost of DIY. You have to manage what we call model drift.
Model drift.
Yeah. AI models, they degrade over time as real-world data and client environments inevitably change. To keep your system accurate, you need constant retraining, data pipe monitoring, security hardening against things like AI jailbreaks.
This sounds like a full-time job for a whole department.
It is. This continuous R&D is the factory work that absolutely crushes an MSP's budget and time if they try it internally.
Okay, so let's contrast that staggering internal cost, that ongoing R&D burden, with the immediate quantifiable benefits that smart MSPs are already delivering by deploying these finished white label systems.
This is the ROI. This is the missed opportunity if you stay in that resource trap.
What are we seeing?
The numbers are just transformative. We see major operational shifts in client environments.
Yeah.
Take predictive maintenance enabled by agents that reduces unexpected downtime in manufacturing, which translates to a 5 to 15% increase in equipment effectiveness for the client.
Wow. And what about, say, financial systems?
Well, look at HSBC. The bank uses similar AI integration to significantly reduce fraud false positives by 60%.
60%. I mean, that's a massive efficiency gain in risk reduction.
Huge. And now, bring that back to the MSP's own operation. The internal efficiency gains completely redefine your profitability.
How so?
By implementing agentic intelligence, automated resolution reduces your overall IT issues by 25%. And even more remarkably, intelligent ticket management can handle up to 80% of routine Tier 1 queries.
80%. Just imagine what that does to your labor margin if 80% of routine work is automated.
You see a reduction in resolution times by 40%.
40%.
And service desk response times by a massive 65%. You're not just saving money, you're dramatically improving your service quality without adding a single person to the payroll.
That is the leverage we are talking about.
Right. And the bottom line, which comes directly from the source material, is clear. MFPs are distributors and trusted advisors. They're focused on client outcomes.
They're not manufacturers.
They are not manufacturers of highly complex, evolving R&D products. The path to smart leverage, to scaling without massive human labor, is realizing this strategic distinction. The move is white labeling.
This is what we're calling the white label epiphany. You pivot from focusing on the frustrating task of trying to build Tier 1 automation tools.
That you're not equipped to do.
Right. And you start introducing finished agentic autonomous AI automations that solve specific client outcomes, like enhancing customer satisfaction, providing 204/7 availability, streamlining complex service delivery.
You become the high-end storefront. And you need a high-quality supplier for the intelligence.
Right.
And the ideal outcome here is that the MSP gets to look like the hero. The client sees the MSP as the provider of this proprietary cutting-edge technology.
They don't need to know where it came from.
No. And the MSP gains an instantly scalable, high-margin revenue stream. And here's the crucial strategic point. This white label model lets you scale operations and provide demonstrably higher quality service without increasing headcount.
And the analysis we've seen shows that by 2026, automation is going to be the primary driver of service scalability. So if you're not adopting this model,
You're just stuck. You're falling behind.
yeah. By incorporating these finished solutions, these AI employees operating under your brand, you immediately position yourself as a forward-thinking strategic partner, one who can guide clients through their own AI adoption journeys.
You evolve from a device manager to an intelligence provider.
The conversation changes.
It shifts entirely.
Yeah.
You stop selling hours or manual labor, and you start selling quantified outcomes that are delivered by intelligence.
Okay, but wait. Let me play devil's advocate here. If we white label a sophisticated AI solution, aren't we just handing over our clients' proprietary data and our own service delivery workflows to a third-party manufacturer?
It's a valid concern.
I mean, how does the factory guarantee security, legal separation, protect our client relationships? That sounds like a critical vendor lock-in risk.
And that is the right question to ask. And it immediately defines the necessary qualities of the partnership. You can't just white label a generic platform. You need a partner that is a dedicated factory in the background, built specifically for this purpose.
Okay.
Their primary job is to handle the complex factory work, the R&D, the governance, the security, so the MSP can focus solely on the client relationship and that advisory role.
So let's detail that factory work. What heavy lifting is this partner doing that the MSP just can't?
Okay, first, they manage the foundational prerequisite work. Automation cannot thrive on ambiguity.
Right, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly. For agents to be effective, data must be clean, consistent, standardized.
Mm-hmm.
The factory handles this essential prerequisite analysis and data conditioning. MSPs often rush through this or ignore it entirely, and that leads to poor automation performance.
So they're building the structured environment needed for the intelligence to actually execute reliably.
Precisely.
Mm-hmm.
Second, they manage the extreme complexity of building multi-agent systems. You're not buying one simple chatbot here. Agentic AI involves multiple specialized agents working together. The factory builds and manages the sophisticated orchestration patterns like supervisor-based models, sequential pipelines, hybrid setups, and ensures effective interagent communication.
Can you give us a simple visual on that complexity?
Sure. Think of it as a resolution pipeline.
Yeah.
Agent A finds the server error and passes that structured, pre-analyzed info to Agent B, who automatically logs the ticket and triages the severity.
Okay.
Agent B then hands the problem off to Agent C, who executes the diagnostic and the fixes. Crucially, the system ensures zero manual handoffs and full traceability. That level of multi-agent coordination is pure factory work.
I see.
And third, and maybe most importantly, the factory handles risk and governance. This isn't full, unsupervised autonomy.
Right.
The factory integrates the human-in-the-loop, or HITL, model. Autonomy does not mean the absence of oversight. The factory builds in the necessary governance policies, ethical alignment frameworks, fail-safes.
Making sure humans are involved at critical decision points.
Exactly. Especially where errors have a high consequence, like a non-standard financial adjustment or a decision that impacts regulatory compliance.
So the partner is managing the complexity, the security hardening, the tool orchestration, and the continuous model maintenance to prevent that drift.
All of it.
All of it. So the MSP can focus on being the high-level advisor and the client strategist. They're focusing on the macro-level decomposition of the client's business problem, not the micro-level decomposition of the code.
It separates the strategic layer from the technological layer. The MSP sells the strategy, the partner delivers the engine.
Which brings us back to the urgency of this. I mean, if you could instantly offer a full suite of AI employees to your clients under your brand without writing a single line of code, focusing instead on pure margin capture, how rapidly would that strategic shift accelerate your valuation in the marketplace?
That's the real question. That is the opportunity cost of building it yourself.
Yeah.
The choice for MSPs is not whether to adopt AI. I mean, that ship has sailed.
Long gone.
The choice is how to strategically acquire the capability to deliver a modern, holistic MSP model, one focused on managing the client's entire digital estate, powered by intelligence.
And the key word there is acquire. This high-tier solution, the factory, is the necessary engine. It provides purpose-built, agentic frameworks and orchestration engines that are ready to sell immediately. You are plugging into a ready-made, governed, scalable backend.
And by integrating with this system, the MSP gains instant capability to offer these complex, high-margin services like regulatory compliance automation, advanced predictive maintenance, and intelligent ticket management, all under their own brand.
And you mentioned something critical there. The solutions come pre-calibrated across the autonomy spectrum.
Yes, and this speaks directly to the governance we just discussed.
So let's delve into that calibration. Why is having different levels of autonomy so essential?
It's essential because risk is not uniform. You have to match the level of automation to the predictability and the consequence severity of the task.
Makes sense.
So for tasks that are highly structured, low risk, easily verified like standard data extraction or generating a routine compliance report, you can use full autonomy. Level 5, the agent just executes the task end to end.
But where does the human judgment come back in?
That's for tasks that are less predictable or have a high consequence of error. Think complex commercial risk evaluation in insurance or those non-standard financial adjustments.
Right.
The system has to be designed for supervised or collaborative autonomy level 3. Here, the agent does the initial steps, but always consults the user for critical expertise, for preference setting, or for a final sign-off before committing a high-stakes decision.
And the factory handles all that complex calibration automatically.
Automatically, ensuring tasks are automated appropriately based on risk.
So this partnership really transforms the MSP from a reactive device manager into a high-value intelligence provider focused entirely on delivering strategic business outcomes for their client.
It's the difference between being the team that changes the tires and being the strategist who designs the race car.
You're selling resilience, foresight, and infinite scale.
That's it.
Exactly. You don't need to be an AI R&D expert. You don't need to hire dozens of specialized engineers. You just need the right supplier. The factory is the turnkey engine that lets you sell the future today.
A powerful position to be in.
We've really mapped out the shift today, that necessary strategic transition from the hard work of internal development, which is the resource trap,
Right.
to the smart leverage of external production via a trusted factory in the background. The next generation MSP relies on intelligence they can brand and scale immediately and infinitely.
And as we close, I think it's important to remember the immediate human consequence of this shift. As those routine Tier 1 tasks get increasingly automated, we're talking up to 80% of routine queries. The human expertise inside the MSP has to evolve, and rapidly. The danger isn't that agents replace technicians wholesale.
That's the real danger then.
The true strategic danger is that MSPs fail to upskill their existing talent fast enough. The new job for your best people is not doing the repetitive work. It's managing the complexity, providing ethical judgment, ensuring accountability, and focusing on the high-level client strategy that no agent can replicate.
That's where the real value is.
That's where you need to focus your resources, make your human team masters of the advisory role.
Absolutely. We hope this deep dive into the necessary architecture of the modern MSP gives you the insight needed to stop building the factory and start selling the future. We'll see you next time.